Were you ever there?
I think so.
Hmm. It's the thinking part, man. It's tough.
I know it is tough, and so I say to ye, the somebody, this would be interesting to see what brain function I still have.
Oh my gosh! Guys, let's get Fusion right after this ad break.
Okay, so real quick before everything really gets started, was playing basketball on Monday. Did a layup, landed, you know, a little
Mm-hmm.
twisted, but fine. Was jogging back, might have had some comments to the referee, and all of a sudden, there's like some quick movement. So I did some quick movement to like try to keep the guy that I'm defending from doing scoring a basket, and the
Sure.
ball goes down the other side, and all of a sudden, I felt like this shock of pain between my ankle and my knee.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh fuck, that hurts, that hurts, that hurts. So I subbed out
Yeah.
because I did fall to the ground. Um,
Oh,
I, I
that's never
subbed
good.
out, stretched it out. I was like, okay, let's give it a go. I came back in after halftime, played for I don't know, like maybe 10, 15 more minutes, and then all of a sudden it felt like someone was. I know this is gonna sound weird, but it felt like someone was suffocating my lower right leg. And when that happened, I pulled myself out. We lost the game. Came home, I iced it, elevated it, um, took pain pills. Woke up in the morning, was like, oh, I'm still sore, whatever. Um, go downstairs to go back to work. Was fine. I was sore, a little tender, whatever. And then right around lunchtime, I go upstairs to grab some food, come back downstairs, almost lose my footing on the staircase. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and check this out. Resurgence has a walk-in clinic. I'll go there.
There you
Don't go to Resurgence walk-in clinic. They don't understand what a walk-in clinic is. I walk in, they're like, oh, we'll get you an appointment on the 18th. I'm like, that's not what a walk-in
That's not
is.
the definition of walking.
Yeah. So I ended up going to urgent care. They took 2 X-rays of my lower right leg, and the doctor or the whatever nurse practitioner
Yeah.
tried to convince me that it was shin splints, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, it that those symptoms may be shin splints for some people, but as someone who was a road runner from age 6 to 24 and having experienced shin splints lots of times for trying to do road races when not in shape, I could tell you this is not shin splints. She goes, well, if you want a different opinion, I'll refer you to an orthopedist. I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, usually shin splints, also they like kind of like they happen over time.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-time jump and all of a sudden it's like
No, it's
a
just
scale of 10. It's like
it's
a
not like
gradual thing.
bursting out of a birthday cake.
Yeah, it's like it happens and you realize something's wrong, but it's like gradual-ish.
And for me personally, when it comes to shin splints, it's usually I don't feel it during the exercise. It's like the day after.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, ah, yep, there it is.
It sounds like either a tendon or muscle.
So, went to the orthopedist today. They took like a ton of X-rays of my knee, my ankle, and my leg. They didn't see any fractures, but they want to do an MRI next week. So, but I am not allowed to play basketball or any activity other than walking for at least 10 more days.
And not aggressive walking. You're not allowed to speed walk, probably.
No, dude. If I try to aggressive speed walk, I know it sounds really weird, but it feels like my leg is going to bend the wrong way.
Maybe that'll fix it because it'll hurt so much that they won't even recognize what's going on.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Anyways, we're after 8:00, so let's lock in here, shall we? Actually, I need to make sure that your levels are good. Talk again, Zealeus.
I've been talking. What more can I do for you, sir?
Good. I wish there was a way in Streamlabs that I could change the order of the the audio thing, but it's all in the order of what I added to the scene. And as you're the latest thing, you're all the way at the bottom. So you got desktop audio, which of course I've muted. And then there's my mic. And then there's like the intro volume and the outro volume. And then the backup camera, which I don't even think that's part of the thing anymore. Anyways, whatever. I know that you are the backup camera. That's, oh my God, Charlie.
I am a camera.
This is going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. I am on muscle relaxer and pain pills. So let's see what we can do here.
It sounds like the good stuff, sir.
All right, hitting record. Muting Zealeus. Starting show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Shelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. It's good to see you on this thundery Thursday.
Indeed, it is thundery. Atlanta has been having storms off and on at random intervals today, so hopefully the internet doesn't go down.
In next couple of days. It's that time of year.
Yes. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific counter himself, Zealeus.
Greetings and salutations.
This is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where I try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, opinions, thoughts, add it to the chat, be it on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. And without further ado, we're going to start. But I've, of course, just dropped my pen because I'm being clumsy. So just 1 second, let me grab my pen, and then we'll actually start.
No, not the pen.
Yes. Okay. So, the first topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is let's talk a little bit more about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now,
are there more staples?
Let's talk about what GameStop and Nintendo is doing because of this staple issue, shall we say? Okay. So, Nintendo and I know I've got this.
GameStop.
Thank you. Nintendo and GameStop have basically figured out a replacement plan. Okay.
Ooh.
So if you are one of those individuals who went to GameStop and got a Switch 2 and your Switch 2 was damaged by a staple, GameStop will offer replacements, Nintendo points to GameStop and Nintendo points. So, and then of course GameStop made a statement utilizing a meme from Office Space, basically saying the staplers have been confiscated. So at least they have a little bit of sense of humor, but if you know, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The other thing is, it appears that there are Switch 2s that are appearing at brick and mortar retailers. I know that the Best Buy down the street from where I live just got a shipment, I think, yesterday. So I don't have the money for it, but I do know that they had it, or they had them yesterday.
I mean, there's always money on the credit card.
Yeah. No, there's no money on the credit card either. But I will say this, for those of you who do have a Switch 2, there is one little bit of advice that I've seen being said over and over again online. That is, when you first boot up your Switch 2 for the first time, you are asked, do you want to import your Switch profile, basically your system from the original Switch, right?
Sure, yep.
If you say no, the only way to get that prompt to come back is you have to factory reset your Switch 2. So
saying is, if you're going to do it, just do it right. It's not like you can come back later and do it. You want to do it ASAP.
It's like, well, I want to have a brand new identity, and I don't want to have any of my Nintendo stuff be connected to my new Nintendo stuff. I mean, you could do that, but then you'd have to factory reset it when you decide to import your old profile.
because that's how I always do my hardware. Is I never do imports.
Uh-huh.
Like I'll create it from scratch, I'll log in, and then I'll start slowly like installing stuff. Basically, is how I've always done it.
Yeah.
Because my theory is I want like a fresh machine without the cruft to get imported from the old machine. I want it shiny and new, and then I'll slowly import my little thingies here and there. But apparently, don't do that with the Switch too.
Yeah. It's a one and done situation.
Interesting.
Unless of course you want to factory reset it. Which, yeah, you can obviously do. But, I'm always afraid that I'm going to be that one person that when it factory resets, it does something weird and the system's never the same.
So I'm hearing is that happens. You just need to put a staple in it and then go get it fixed.
But, oh, by the way, I just remembered that there was that staple mar thing from my game,
Yeah.
but I don't have I won't. Okay, here's the flaw in that logic, Zealeus. I don't buy stuff from GameStop, so I wouldn't have the receipt to verify that the staple damage was from GameStop.
I was so excited in the opening of my Switch, and I never thought I'd need to return it. So, of course, I just threw away the receipt because why am I going to keep a receipt for a console that I'm never, ever going to return?
Uh-huh. I don't think it's going to work.
It works for me. Therefore, it should work for GameStop and
Right.
Nintendo.
Anyways, speaking of Switch 2, let's talk about the other issue that a lot of Switch 2 fans, or Nintendo fans in general, are having an issue with, and that is this weird game card thing where you could go buy the physical box, then inside in this box is this itty-bitty piece of paper with a code that you then have to type in and then download it on the system, which, of course, that's not a new thing, but for Nintendo fanboys, they've always, when they buy the physical thing, they want the physical thing.
I thought that was actually a big deal with the Switch was the cartridge. Like that's one of the selling points, actually.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems silly to buy a Switch get physical game.
The box, but with the digital code inside.
Yeah, like the whole reason for buying the Switch physical box is to get the game card.
Yeah.
In my mind, you would think.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider one of the selling points is the portability, which also does reduce your drive space.
Mm-hmm.
And a way around that is, of course, using cartridges.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I too, when I buy physical things, want it 100% physical. It's not. I don't want just the box.
Yeah.
I don't need that. That's extra clutter I could live without.
Yeah, because even my physical PS5 games are all disc, which is what you would expect. I mean, granted, there's big usually updates, but still, it helps.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, fun times for Nintendo Switch news.
But it is selling like hotcakes still.
This is true. This is true.
It's beautiful.
Now, let's change gears just a wee bit, shall we?
Are we going up in gears or down in gears? Like upshift, downshift?
Good question. Which way are we shifting? Seeing as I've never driven a manual, so I don't know what gears. My car, I've always driven an automatic. It just shifts magically when it hits certain things. So, but let's talk about some TV, shall we? Some sad news. It looks like Adult Swim is about to get hit with another wave. Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are going to be hit with another wave of layoffs.
They're part of the WB stuff, right?
Yes, the WBD Global Networks.
And right now, the WB doesn't seem to know what the hell they're doing.
No, they. Oh my god, dude! It's like every day they're doing something to that for me, and I guess for a lot of people out there, it's like this is stupid. What are you doing? I don't. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
One
Yeah.
that still pisses me off at WB is they hold the rights to the Nemesis system via um, Mordor, those Mordor games,
Yeah.
Shadows of Mordor.
Yep.
And like it's a cool system, and basically they're not developing it. And so it's this really cool idea that's just sitting there dormant.
Yeah.
And then for some reason they didn't create DLCs for Hogwarts Legacy, even though like there's no doubt that they would have sold like freaking hotcakes.
It's because they want to make a second one.
I know, but like they could have released like 8 DLCs by now.
Oh, I know.
Have they learned nothing from other franchises? I don't know. Like they make fantastic games, but it just seems like the decision making behind the releases of them seem questionable.
A lot of decision making in big companies seems to be questionable these days. So
Just I have an idea. Instead of AI replacing its lovely peons, let AI take the place of the CEOs. Can't be any worse.
yeah, who knows?
And it actually save the company real money in that case.
I mean, we talked about. I think we talked about. I don't know if we actually talked about it or not, but High Res Studios is getting rid of a bunch of their upper level management because now they're so top heavy because they released all the underlings.
Yeah, that one at least makes sense. I mean, it's never good, but yeah, just in general, because I never like to see people laid off, but it's not surprising. Yeah.
Here's the thing, and as not being a multi-billion-dollar or million-dollar company owner, maybe I don't understand things, but if you're gonna do layoffs of like the little people, then you have to also immediately do layoffs of the other tiers as well. You can't just get rid of the bottom and keep all the guys who are actually costing you the most on your payroll. Because now they don't have anyone that's reporting to them. Oh my God, we just went full circle with Office Space. I'm sorry, you have 3 different managers?
Who's going to manage the staplers?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Also in TV news, I don't remember which outlet did it, but someone finally tracked down the creator of Yay, Chip, yes, it is your favorite show ever. We're here. I may not be completely coherent right now, but we're here.
I have no idea what you're referencing.
Okay, anyways. Someone finally sat down with Chip's talking about Office Space, which is phenomenal. It's freaking great. Yeah.
I've seen Office Space in so long.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. But yeah, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's been 5 years. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. The muscle relaxants are making it even harder for me to stay on track.
Relax the brain, man. Relax the brain.
Oh, dude, my brain is like so mellow right now. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Someone finally sat down with the creator of Cowboy Bebop and asked him about his feelings about the live action version of Cowboy Bebop that Netflix did. And he basically said that the opening scene told him that this was not going to work. First of all, he was not part of the creative team behind it, which if you are going to do if you have an animated series or a book series or some other medium series and you're putting it into something else, be it a TV show, be it a movie, something, you have to have the person who created the damn thing, if they're still alive. I mean, I guess you could dig up J.R. Tolkien if you really want to. Maybe there's some like Frankenstein-y thing you could do. But you have to have the person who made that what it is on your team. And literally, he said that It was the opening scene of the Netflix show was more than just a weak start. It was an outright deal breaker. Basically, here's what this is what the interviewer basically stated. The Netflix series may have shared names and settings with Cowboy Bebop, but in tone and intent, it was something else entirely.
Which I still have not seen.
Don't. The author of this article said the original Cowboy Bebop is a genre-defining masterpiece and a cocktail of space opera, noir, westerns, and jazz wrapped in philosophical angst, which I totally agree. The Netflix version, in contrast, often leaned into camp and quippy dialogue, flattening the emotional gravitas into formulaic action beats. It's true. They tried to make it just completely action-packed, but there's so much depth in Cowboy Bebop that just was not present. And then, to be honest with you, I wanted to get through it, but I never actually got through all of the live action. There was one scene in the live action that completely was I was done. I never came back. So
First, what if you watched and you couldn't even finish the live action?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, that being said, there was a question, and I actually have it written down so I don't foobar this. It's a nice transition from Cowboy Bebop to this question, because this is something that it actually relates to me or applies to me when it comes to Cowboy Bebop, because Cowboy Bebop is a phenomenal show. I come back and watch it all the time, along with other animes and other TV shows. So when you go back through a beloved show to binge watch it, do you watch it from start to finish, first episode to last episode, or do you leave episodes out? And if you do leave episodes out, is it the same episodes every single time you want to binge watch that series?
I'm the wrong person to ask this question to, because I don't go back and rewatch TV shows.
What?
There's so much new content out there all the time. Why would I rewatch something I've already seen? And if I'm going to rewatch something, it's most likely only something that's like come to a conclusion. So something like, say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And sorry, I'm not going to watch 8 seasons at 24 episodes each season, because then I don't have time to watch anything else in my life.
Okay, so let's say that let's just take Buffy the Vampire. If you had time to maybe do a mini Buffy fest.
So it depends on the show. So something like Buffy, yes, there's 100% episodes I would skip.
Yeah.
Because there's some truly terrible episodes.
Yeah.
But there's some shows, so like, I'm just thinking ones off the top of my head, like the USA shows like Burn Notice and White Collar and No Shows.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't skip, or Chuck. That's another. I know it's not a USA one, but kind of the same theme.
Right.
Those are ones I probably wouldn't really skip any episodes, honestly, because they're all good episodes.
Uh-huh.
So it really depends on the show. So most shows, if I want to rewatch it, it's because it was so good in the first place where I don't want to actually skip episodes.
Right.
Is how I look at it. Because why am I going to watch a show if it's not good enough to not want to skip episodes in the first place?
Okay.
So that's my theory.
For the most part, I agree. I think with certain shows that I've seen, well, the thing is with anime, it's 26 episodes. From the anime that the vast majority of the anime that I watched when I was, Chip wants John to have a Buffy fest. From the vast majority of the anime that I watched when, like back in high school and in college, they were 26 episodes, or maybe 30 or something episodes. So you're right, Zealeus. When you're talking about a successful series that has like 8, 9, 10 seasons, then yeah, it's probably a little bit harder to binge watch all of it, because there is a lot of content that's constantly coming out. But at the same time, if you're looking at like Trigun or Cowboy Bebop or a lot of the anime shows from like the late 90s, early 2000s, you're talking about 21 minutes per episode, 26 episodes. You could probably knock.
You can knock it out in a day, man.
Yeah, you can knock it out in a day.
Yeah,
So
that's different.
So, but saying that, I think that there are definitely shows that I've gone back and watched several times, but there's also, there are definitely episodes that if I've seen the show enough, there's probably some episodes that if I'm just not feeling it, I'll just skip over because I already know what the story is. So I don't, it's like, oh, I'm the big twist. If I think it was poorly done, but I enjoyed the series even with the twist, maybe I'll go halfway through an episode and then jump to the next one.
I can see that.
But would I do it every single time? It's probably all about my mood while I'm watching it. If I'm kind of just spacing, if I'm really locked in, I probably won't do it. Or if I'm kind of spacing out, I probably won't do it. But if I'm like in just a certain way, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this kind of angst or this kind of betrayal or this kind of stupidity, then I'll just skip it.
Yeah, I just don't run into that.
Speaking of TV shows that Charlie really, really liked that got canceled way too early, and I'm not talking about Firefly this time, for once. There was a show based on a book series that I think I finally am totally behind on that book series now. I kept waiting until the next book got released and then would read it and then get really depressed when then there's that delay. So I finally just dropped the series, started reading a bunch of other stuff.
Little time.
And that series, of course, is the Dresden Files. Now, I did have a problem with the TV show, though the author was, I don't know how involved he was, but there was some, back and forth. My biggest issue is that certain characters who were like mortal enemies were like fuck buddies in the show, and I'm like, how does that work?
Well, of course, you must have the forbidden love.
Yeah, but
in a TV show.
But Dresden, yeah. Anyways, I a spoiler. I'm not going to say it, but anyways, I think it would be great if. Also, it is the 25th anniversary of the Dresden series, so. And for those who don't, for those of you who don't know, it's the Chicago-based professional wizard who's called in by Chicago Police Department to help them solve a gruesome murder that seems to have been enacted with some black magic in the years since. The author has turned out 17 installments, including following Dresden as he tangles with all sorts of supernatural creatures and magicians such as werewolves, vampires, fae, demons, necromancers, and more, and more. Good Lord. And then also they one of the characters they totally completely changed, which I kind of liked the change in the TV show. In the book, one of Dresden's mentors is a dead wizard named Bob, and it's a talking skull. In the TV show, it was an actual actor who was confined to be close by his skull. So whatever. Yeah. But I'm excited. It would be nice to see another Dresden show.
Do you know if he's still writing books for specifically Dresden?
I don't know if he's still doing the Dresden series. I know he's written other books because I've seen. Actually, I will tell you.
Okay, according to the website, the series is slated to run 23 to 24 books.
The Dresden series?
Yeah, it's literally on the website.
Oh, well, there you go.
And yeah, apparently, the last book it talks about is Peace Talks, which is book 16.
Yeah, I think I stopped. Oh shoot. Why did I choose the one website where they're not in chronological order? Um, let's see.
It's a lot of books.
Yeah, I think I stopped at maybe Ghost Story or Skin Game, which was either the 13th or 15th book. Anyways, they're all good books. They're all good books. But yeah,
There's more books than Wheel of Time.
yeah,
Although I don't think the books are as long.
probably not. Probably not. Okay. Oh, I did write that at the top. Wow, Charlie, you are really on top of it, buddy. Once again, I apologize. Muscle relaxants making brain fuzzy.
I did actually finally start watching the Wheel of Time TV series,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sad it's canceled.
You're excited it's canceled?
Sad, because the series
Oh.
is really good.
Apparently the last season was like phenomenal.
Well, I'll say I just finished season 2, and it
Mhm.
was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And everything I've read is, yes, like everything in season 3 is better than the finale of season 2. So the finale of season 2 is amazing. I'm super stoked about season 3, but at the same time, sad knowing that the awesomeness is over.
Yeah.
It's like bittersweet almost. So, but yeah, what do you do?
You just shrug your shoulders and go, I don't understand how people do things. That's what you do.
Isn't that just kind of life?
Yeah, it is. Speaking of things that some people out there don't understand what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, if you have Netflix and you are an anime fan, if you somehow have not watched all of the episodes of Overlord, which is a phenomenal anime, if I say so myself,
I guess
on
any of them.
Netflix, it is going away. Netflix, I guess, is losing the right to stream it July 1st. So get your booty in gear and watch all those episodes. Yeah, that's a ton of episodes too.
I know. I was just looking, and I'm like, wow, that's long. So the question is it on Crunchyroll though?
Yes, but I don't think all of it's dubbed on Crunchyroll, which is really this like confuses the crap out of me. Where you have one streaming platform who have both the sub and the dub, and then you have like the more in what you think of, this is the anime streaming thing, and it's like, yeah, we don't actually have the dub version of it, because there's times where I've had to watch like some of the anime episodes that really look interesting to me on Crunchyroll. I've had to watch them on Hulu because Hulu has the dubs and Crunchyroll doesn't.
I watched, it used to be on Netflix. It was Fairy Tale.
Yep.
And it was all subbed in English, right?
Yep.
And I immediately jumped to, I don't remember what service it was because I didn't have Crunchyroll. So whatever it was that had Crunchyroll dubbed, and it threw me off because like you went from the American, I don't know if they're American, but the English actors
Yep.
to all of a sudden when it's subbed with the Japanese, I'm like, the characters felt different. And like
Yes.
they just felt different because part of the personality of the character was, the voice actors.
Right.
And all of a sudden the voice actors change, not just the language, but just the tone and inflection, everything. And it's like, oh, I don't recognize this character anymore. And I didn't even make it to like the first episode of it being dubbed. But I should go back and watch it now that it's been so long where it wouldn't matter.
Right. No, I totally agree. I had I don't remember what anime it was, but I was watching one, I believe I started the dubbed version, and like some of the characters have like a high, cheery, squeaky voice in the dubbed, but in the subbed, it's like gruff, and I'm like, this not matching up, can't work, gonna head explode. So, but yeah, you have until July 1st to watch all the Overlord episodes on Netflix, which I, of course, am completely caught up on Overlord because I really enjoy it. Although you want to talk about an OP'd main character, Jesus, the dude can't get wounded at all. It's impossible. That's my 2 cents.
Sometimes it pays to be OP. Or something.
Yeah, but it's kind of a very, very overused part of anime, I feel. Anywho,
Maybe.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause for a second to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is the friends of the show. So, without further ado, and pray for me because I have to read this script, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am slightly worried that I will fumble over these words, but we're going to try. So, without further ado, let's thank these amazing individuals. Let's start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. Which, by the way, if you were at MomoCon, you probably saw their booth because they were definitely there. The next shout out we've got to give is to Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid for Side of Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to an individual who I've had to reschedule several times because of my wonderful leg injury, because I can't really get that adjusted until I know what the hell's going on. But anyways, if you're in the greater Atlanta area, you definitely need this to help all those aches and pains from long gaming sessions or perhaps just sitting in front of a computer for too long. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focused to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone could be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible and most importantly suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original backer on Patreon for Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now I know at this very moment in time, you've got to be asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's quite simple. Alter Confusion survives the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, swamp creatures, vampires, mummies, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we live through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers that you can pledge at. There's the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all the playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky, you can bump that up to the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. What that gets you is everything at the $1 tier, but also puts your name or organization in the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's Patreon.com/alteredconfusion today. And if you're in the spending mood, ladies and gentlemen, you also have to check out the Ultra Confusion merch. That's you can get a hat, you can get a coffee cup, you can get pet food bowls, you can get Ultra Confusion vinyl stickers, which I will continue to say these are freaking amazing vinyl stickers because they last.
You should
All you
really
get,
wear them on your
huh?
You should wear them on your hat. It would really show the love.
Well, I'm already wearing. My hat has Ultra Confusion on it. It would be kind of overkill to have Ultra Confusion. But
You really overkill alt confusion.
I don't know. Maybe not. So, anyways, you can go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch and you can check out all the merchandise that's available. Buy in bulk. I've got a couple hats around the house. I've got like a bunch of stickers. I think the only thing, I don't even think it's available now anymore, but the one thing that I never actually planned on purchasing was the flip-flops. Gonna be honest with you, I don't need Ultra Confusion flip-flops, but that's just me. Anyways.
Poser.
So I do want to do one other shout out, and that is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion is proud to say that they have been fundraising for Extra Life for 14 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today.
Actually, do not search for alt confusion. Search for Charlie Hawkins.
But it should go to Altered Confusion as well.
Search for alt confusion does not show any. You're on Team Alt Confusion, but searching for a Alt Confusion in the search bar searches for players only and not teams.
Very weird.
I know, because I first searched for Alt Confusion because I have to update my URL. And it's like, no. I'm like, okay.
Weird. Very weird. Anyways, all right. Let's see if Charlie's brain will continue to work.
I mean, it's debatable. Hey, no.
There's a chance.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a will.
Something like that. Okay, so there's this anime that's on Crunchyroll that people. This is the famous anime that has had a bunch of people petition for it to stop and basically reboot their attempt at making this anime what it should be, because everyone is pissed that the animation quality and the action sequences are just poorly done. That, of course, is the beginning after the end. And despite the fans continuing to petition for the cancellation of the show, Crunchyroll has come out and said that they're going to give it a second season. Now, as some people might remember, any news is good news. So I think with people constantly trying to petition this thing into cancellation, it's gotten more eyes on it, and there are people who maybe are not as art critical as the individuals who've written this petition, which I'm curious to see how many people are what the count is. Does this actually go to the petition?
See me, it sounds like a case where it's the squeaky wheel is what people listen to, even if maybe it was good in the first place.
Yeah.
There's
over 50,000. Was that can't be now. Anyways. So, yeah. Any news is good news. Any publicity is good publicity. They're getting a second season, so maybe they can, kill two birds with one stone. They can improve the animation for season 2 and make the petitioners happy. I mean, yes, they technically didn't cancel the show, but maybe they will get season 2 to be what the fans of the I think it's a web comic. The actual series was meant to be. So we'll see.
Have you watched it?
I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was very confused as to the lack of animation. Period. Like the characters, hopefully it improves.
It's
But like,
animated, but there's no animation. I don't
no,
understand.
it was like really weird. Like only one if there was a scene with 2 people in it, one person would be animated, the other person would basically be holding some sort of like pose. And then once the talker stopped moving, then the pose holder would start moving. And then like the action was not actually action, it was more like it felt more like flip book than anything. It was weird.
Sounds more like a video game that you would play, and those are like the cutscenes.
Yes.
But what do I know?
We know nothing. I think that's the moral of the story, is that we don't understand how the world really works. I mean, I don't think anyone knows at this point in time.
Why start now?
True. How true. Now, speaking of how the world works, let's talk about the fact that Disney and Universal are coming together to file a massive lawsuit against an AI image company called Midjourney. Midjourney apparently is allowing users to basically do like Star Wars, Simpsons, and other Universal and Disney properties, like make my character into Ooh, that was a weird noise. Sorry, my computer or something just made a really weird, like almost chainsaw noise in the background. But of course you can't hear it because I'm on a condenser mic. Yay. But yes, so Disney and Universal.
So just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
So on Playground emojis, which I don't really create because I don't understand them because I'm not 14, but I just asked the AI, which is just Chat GPT, to create a cat with a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what it created?
A cat
with a lightsaber.
With a lightsaber,
yeah. It looks like it's straight out of a Disney. So it's just kind of fascinating where, like, obviously that is using, I mean, straight out of Disney, using the lightsaber.
Yep.
But I don't know if there's license agreements or it's just like who wants to sue Apple, unless I guess you're Epic Games. But still, it's just, I don't know. The whole AI thing's fascinating to me because the only way to basically train AI is to essentially use copyrighted information.
Right.
I mean, look at what's going on with all the books, and I mean, the AI companies outright saying, we can't train it without using this copyrighted material, but we don't care basically because we're too big and you can't do anything about it.
Do you remember that story from, I don't know, a couple months ago where it turned out that one of the massive AI engines was actually utilizing all the information found those terabytes of books that were actually pirated?
Oh, that's what they're all. I think it was Google. I mean, that's how you train it. I mean, AI. I mean, LLMs and AIs. It's basically a fancy search engine.
Yeah.
So unless you know that data is there, then how do you train it?
Right.
And like, it's going to come from what's probably copyrighted material in the end to actually have validity. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're like, the Disneys, you can throw your weight around and sue companies over it. But if you're the small person whose content is being used to train the LLMs, then there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Okay, but what about the companies like, I think it's Lionsgate, who is going to implement utilizing AI to help tweak their movies. So basically what they're going to do, if I read correctly, see if I can find the article again. Um, where are you? Maybe I can't find it. Damn it. Was it off topic? I can't remember. My brain no worky. Or maybe it was a legal thing. I don't remember where the hell I put it now. That's super, Charlie. Oh, here we go. Lionsgate. Oh my God. Skip the ad. Jesus. Lionsgate boss says studio can use AI to adjust the movie's rating and create kid-friendly cuts. Do it in anime style. Make it a PG-13 movie. So basically take, for example, John Wick. And then Lionsgate goes, I want John Wick anime style. And then this AI engine basically just takes all of John Wick and makes it look like anime.
I think so. One of my favorite things is watching CinemaSins.
Yep.
If you're not familiar, if you all aren't familiar with it, go watch it. It's hilarious, right? So I recently watched and they're all terrible, but I watched them anyway because I like trash. The 3 Jurassic World movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so afterwards, I have to watch all the CinemaSins. And they made the quip where basically, and it's your one token possible reference to the gay person in the movie, so they easily cut it out for the Chinese release. I'm like, yep, that's exactly right. They could just cut that one line. But to kind of going back to full circle, that is in a way a perfect use of AI, is you almost feed it and be like, hey, I have this movie. What would be objectionable to this certain demographic?
Mm-hmm.
How can we cut it out of that movie easily? And that would be the perfect case. So in this case, it would see the one possible reference to a gay person. Now also look at America, because a lot of people hate gays here. And like, hey, let's cut it out everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like an ultra conservative Christian group back in like the 90s who took like all the VHSs and then made like Christian correct Christian versions?
Is they did it for John Wick. I think I remember us talking about this years ago, and I could have sworn it was called probably like Angel Films or something corny. I could have sworn it was actually about John Wick, because we were joking about like what would the movie be.
Oh God! Oh jeez! Yeah.
It was either like John Wick or Matrix. It was like one of those like nonstop action movies. I feel like it was John Wick for some reason, because it was so absurd. Where it's like, how do you even do this?
Or any movie that's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. Snakes on a Plane. Make that Christian friendly.
Don't think it's possible.
The plane takes off. It lands. Roll credits.
Yeah. I remember they actually did the animation thing. It was the Blacklist for one of the seasons.
Uh-huh.
It was during the writer. It was during the. I remember if it was the writer strike or the actor strike. I remember which one it was, but one of the seasons, it was clearly in the middle of the strike. So they did an animated version of a couple of episodes. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yes, like, I mean, like realistically though, for something like, cutting out those controversial things, or actually a good example for video games would be remember it was World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Where they changed, wasn't the skeletons to like something else, because going back to the Chinese market,
right?
Like,
you can't have skeletons in the
game.
And
so that would actually be to me, that's actually a productive use of AI to basically, instead of a human looking through those, I could actually see that being a useful implementation of AI for a studio to be like, look at this game and now tell us where, if we're going to go to these like 10 different markets, what are things we need to watch out for from a, political and social perspective to change. But then, so we still keep people employed. Now the developers can look at that list and be like, okay, here's the things we change. And now I can create stuff around now your developers going in and changing those things.
So, I mean, I could understand it from that would be for many people out there, I'm sure, when certain games get shipped to different countries, the example that I can always lean on is Kingdom Hearts. When Kingdom Hearts goes and gets shipped into different countries, some of the changes are very subtle, but they have like huge ramifications if they don't get changed, and that's color palettes.
Yeah.
Certain characters cannot have, you can't have, certain colors with certain characters. So using AI to basically just do a palette swap, or maybe instead of skeletons, have the AI basically swap it out for I don't know, bipedal cows. I think that's not
Sure.
that's not
Sure.
that doesn't piss anyone off, does it? Or maybe it does in certain cultures. No, actually,
Maybe the
shit.
farmers will take it personally because it's
Actually,
going
I
to
don't think you could
encourage
do it in
killing
all
the crops.
in all joking aside. I don't think you could do that in India.
Mm, 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 mm,
But
mm.
anyways, no. But I mean, I understand that the thing that I find weird though, it, it all comes down to um, if the AI is making like small tweaks. But if the AI is basically doing a complete overhaul of changing like an R-rated movie to make this PG or PG-13, it's
Yeah.
cool. But at the same time, if I was the writer and the director, I think that I might have a slight issue with that. Like you're basically saying that. I mean, I understand you're trying to get as many butts to the seat, and as many eyes on this thing, but it's not my work that's being shown in certain instances.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess that's not a whole lot different in the past. I would think when like a director is directing a movie,
Yeah,
it would be pretty straightforward, AI aside, for a whole bucket of people just to know like these are the parts that make it rated R.
yeah,
Like independent of AI, I would assume that they know that like, these specific action sequences, it's you can drop for to still be PG-13, like X amount of cuss words, like there's that threshold.
remove
Um,
blood from lots of
yeah, so there's
scenes.
certain things where I'm sure they know like this is what gets it from the PG-13 to the rated R, or vice versa.
Right. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Human knowledge still counts for something, man.
Hmm,
Maybe,
maybe. Who knows?
maybe we try.
Trying doesn't count. Damn it. Not anymore.
If at first you fail, just feed it to AI.
Yeah, no. Let's not do that.
I mean, you can make it hallucinate and give it false answers.
Sure. Sure. Um, Zealeus, what games you playing?
Crystal of Atlan, free to play action RPG MMO, because everything's an MMO nowadays.
Of course.
It's good. It's fun. You beat things up. It just feels good sometimes at the end of the day, just to be like, I'm gonna go in and button mash and destroy things. And then for me, actual having to use my brain, it's Anyo 1800, which, if y'all don't know, Anyo is a long-standing, basically city building franchise, set in many different eras. So you have like Anyo 1800, you have some in the future, some in the past. Um, the thing with Anya is they're one of those franchises that has like the 18,000 expansions and DLCs for every major release. So it's definitely one where it's like, wait to go into super sale because it's going to happen. Otherwise, you're going to like be able to buy a car with the amount of DLCs you can get. And they also have a new Anyo. I forget the official name, but it's set in Rome. So in like 5 years, When it's on Super Sale, I'll 100% be playing Anyo Rome. It's not Rome, it's something else. But that one I'll definitely play because it's a great franchise.
I'm trying
If
to
you're
look it
into
up real quick.
yeah, if you're into city building games, Anyo is definitely a great series to play. Those type of games.
Anno 117 Pax Romana.
There you go. Bergerac is one of my favorites. It's Sam Rome.
Mm-hmm.
City Rome? I don't know. It's a Rome building game. And Rome's, it's just a classic era to want to be a city builder in, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, yes. Anyo 117 is definitely something I'll be playing at some point in my life.
So the question I have for you, real quick, is the Anno 1800. Are you playing it on your PC?
Oh, PC.
Because it's actually the first game from the main series to be released on the consoles.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I've played what is it? Tropico on Switch.
Yeah.
So which was a great port, by the way. So I was skeptical. So games like Tropico and Civilization 6, I think it is, I've both played on the Switch pretty extensively. And my first thought would be like these are terrible games for the console. But in both cases, they're phenomenal. The biggest issue with the Switch ports was actually just the speed of the game. You get to late game Civilization, and those turns can take like minutes. So that was actually the only part that sucked. But the actual gameplay experience itself was actually really good. Really, what it comes down to, I've noticed in games that are both PC and console, it comes down to how well can you basically navigate the menus. It's really what it comes down to in my mind. And did they make that a good experience or a bad experience? A bad experience would actually be Crystals of Atlan. So they have 3 different formats you can play. You can play keyboard and mouse. You can play console only, so just the gamepad, or the hybrid keyboard and mouse and controller.
Mm-hmm.
For some unfathomable reason that I do not understand, because it's the only game like this I've played, where you do the combo version, it basically remaps your entire gamepad in a way that like sucks. And because the gamepad version is a great, to me, mapping, and I want to use the exact key map bind, but be able to use my keyboard to like type in chat. You can't do that in the gamepad mode. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to the combo mode. I literally can't do the same key mappings for my controller using that mode that would be in the gamepad mode. And it just bogs me because I like another example would actually be Diablo 4. You just pick up the controller, it doesn't matter. It's the exact same controls no matter what you do. Same thing with a game like Last Epoch. So developers have figured out if you support controller, you literally make it the same regardless of whether you're using your controller or your keyboard and mouse. You basically just hot swap on the fly. No big deal. The problem with Crystal of Atlan is they have the hot swap, but the hot swap is a terrible imitation of the gamepad because they made it worse than the actual just gamepad instead of just keeping it the same as the native gamepad.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully they change that. So that'd be my one pet peeve of that game.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, sir? What have you been playing? I'm guessing some Claire Obscura.
Yeah. Still doing it. Finally have there's a character that helps you navigate the world called SK. And I finally have found all of SK's rocks. So SK now has all his travel abilities back.
Nice.
But I have to say I'm very depressed with the last rock you get. It's so he could dive underneath the water now. And I thought, ooh, new levels opened up. No, it's like literally, it's kind of like digging for treasure. And all the stuff that SK has pulled up, I'm like, oh, wow, that's something that I used at the very beginning of the game and has no relevance whatsoever now. So thank you, SK, for pulling that piece of trash up.
Interesting.
But
that's
yeah, I'm kind of just flying around the map right now, trying to level up as much as possible before. I can't say anymore.
Because if I remember right, Claire is a game where, because you have multiple party members, so you can pull
Yep.
in and out of your main lineup.
Yep.
But if they're not in your lineup, they don't get EXP, right?
They do.
Oh, they do get EXP if they're not in your lineup.
Not as much.
But they get some.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think they got any for some reason.
No, they do. Thankfully, because I've completely abandoned 2 of the characters. I mean, they are not. They're quite a bit behind the other characters, but they definitely are not the level that I last used them at.
I feel like that's pretty normal in games where you have like 3 or 4 person lineups and you have like 8 characters.
Yeah.
And most people are just going to stick. They're not going to like level up every character to 100.
Yes. I just for those who are interested, my lineup is always Mael, Verso, and Monoko.
I think everyone uses Mael.
Yes, I think to be honest with you, I feel like most people probably use. It really depends with Monoko. If you have challenged. The thing is, Monoko can open up new powers by facing enemies that for new enemies for the first time. If he's in your active party, he basically takes their leg as a trophy, and now he can turn into that character and do a special attack. And there's a couple of special attacks that are freaking phenomenal to have.
Yeah.
So that's why I have Monoko. I've heard that if you learn how to use CL, she could be devastating as well. Luna was great early on, but I'm like, Luna and anyways. But that's what I've been playing. I wish I could say that I've been playing another game. I'm trying. I wish I could. I'm. See, brain not working. It's a disconnect. Damn it.
You'll get there. You'll get. I have faith in you, sir.
Yeah.
Maybe too much. I don't know.
But anyways, I need to. I want to wrap up this game so I could write a review, and then of course I've got a bunch of other games I want to play.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I've got. Anywho, all right. I think we've reached the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Actually, there's a very good chance that we'll not have a show next Thursday, just to be heads up. Because I just did the mental math, and that date falls on someone's birthday. So I may not be around to do it.
Maybe this person should join the podcast as a guest commentator as their birthday gift. Wouldn't that be a very exciting gift?
They've already been a guest commentator at least once. I don't think that I could I don't think I could convince them to come back on unless we change the entire format.
But this is different. This is for their birthday. It's a birthday gift to them to be a honored special guest.
I'm pretty sure that that would not be an honor for them. But what do I know? I don't.
I think we got to find out for sure.
I'll go ask.
You know what assumptions are.
I'll go ask him and see how that goes.
I think it should be a surprise.
Oh, by the way, here's your surprise. I pull up a chair and there you go. We'll plug in the extra mic.
I mean, I'm still gonna be remote. I'm just saying.
Anyways, well, yeah. Oh my god. Okay, I've got two for you. I've got one and done situation, or it's a disconnect for the title of the show.
It's a disconnect.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of it's a disconnect, I did read that that super duper terrible Fantastic Four movie that had like Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
The writer and the director did not see eye to eye. The writer wanted to write like a more Avengers like Marvel-esque movie, and the director was more like the Dark Knight kind of direction. And so when they tried to put both together, it was just that steaming pile of poo.
When did this one was this? I feel like there's been so many Fantastic Fours. I don't even know what's what anymore.
This was the last attempt before the one that's about to come out,
Okay.
which I'm very interested to see. I'm actually interested to see because Fantastic Four was one of those comic books that I freaking loved growing up, and it was one of the very few comic books my mom didn't have a problem with me reading. X-Men was definitely a no-no in my house
because of the lovely
proportions
ladies.
of individuals.
Yeah. Storm. Rogue.
Jean Grey.
Yeah. So I started watching Crunchyroll. It's Windbreaker. It's a fun show. I'm enjoying it.
I needed someone to tell me that because it keeps getting recommended. I'm like, I don't know.
At first, I was like, I don't know. But then, like the end of the first episode, I'm like, let's go.
I'm going to be honest with you. There is an anime that's definitely not completely out of character of me, but something that it's probably not my immediate go-to, but I really enjoyed it, and it was, hold on, make sure that I get this right. Unfortunately, there's only like 13 episodes, but it's called I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. It's actually really good. I mean, it's, there's a lot of, I don't know. It was a good series. And me trying to explain something right now is not going to be in the cards.
You know what actually really help for idiots like me
Huh.
is like on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
When they're like pure Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
For people like me, I don't know what the hell Shonen is.
Shonen Jump is it's kind of like the weekly comic book magazine that comes out in Japan.
Sure, but like they could have for us El Stupido Gringos, they could have like in parentheses what it is.
But here's this is not just a Crunchyroll thing, but for the love of God, if you are going to recommend something for me to watch, if it shows that I have watched all the episodes, do not recommend it to me.
Yes.
I've already recommended it to myself, and I enjoyed it. Or I didn't, and I'm done with it. So stop whatever algorithm you're using. Stop putting it back on, this is what you should watch next.
I also wish shows or streaming services in general would just at the top always have what you recently watched.
Yes, why do so many stream services hide continue to watch? It's like
sometimes like I swear the actual bar is missing. I'm like, I scrolled through like 10 rows and I still can't find my recent watched. And
Netflix,
it's like exit out of the app and go back in.
Likes to move it all over the fucking place.
So does Amazon Prime.
Oh my God. Oh, that too. God almighty.
Prime is because Prime, they want to sell you all the other services. So they shove those down your face. And it's really annoying. Yeah.
Well, I want ease. Okay. When I'm paying for it. So when I go in, I'm okay with you having like your big banner ad or whatever, but then the thing below the banner should be continue watch.
The one thing that's actually nice with the Apple TV, if it's on your top row and like you hover over Netflix, it'll show like your last 2 or 3 watched shows by default.
The funny thing about I've got a smart TV in the living room, and it will give you like when you're kind of like on their own home page, and it shows
Yeah.
all the apps at the top. Then it'll show you like continue to watch. Half those shows, there's no one in this household that watches this. Like, I don't understand where you're pulling this information from. It's like, oh, would you like I don't know, like gold what's that Discovery show all about the gold, the guys who dig for gold. I don't like they'll
House
be like
hunters.
you want to continue to watch this? I'm like, I never started to watch this, so no.
You have a ghost at night who's breaking into your house and watching them and not telling you.
It's actually my dogs are watching it when we're out of the house.
Probably the kids. And they're just not telling you.
No.
You gotta
Brody
know.
Brody is all about watching the anime, and Finn, if it's not right now, if it's not Power Ranger, he doesn't watch it. And dear God, is there so many freaking Power Ranger shows? Jesus.
I will take your word for it.
This one that Finn just got into, the original Blue Ranger is back in this as a different I mean, he's the same. His character is a part of this show. It's not like he's just playing a different character. No, it's the same. It's the original Blue Ranger is now in Mystic Forces or Mystic something. I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
why the big game on Steam right now, if you've seen, is Dune Awakening.
Do what?
Dune Awakening.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's an open world MMO survival game. And like, I've seen videos. I'm like, this looks appealing. But I'm like, Zealeus, you hate survival games, so you'd hate this game. But I'm like, but it looks so good.
Ooh. Now there's a game I played on my 3DS that's now on my featured and recommended for Steam, and that is Fantasy Life.
Oh, geez.
Oh, there it is. Dune Awakening. Sea of Stars. No, I beat that game. What the hell is... Great. Super. Who's... Sony, PlayStation, crazy people. Anyways. All right. Get in the stream, talk to